Hello and welcome back to my channel. Day 1, what does that mean? And what does it have to do with the title of this video? Well, first, let me show you something and then later we'll talk about why I titled this video this way. So what do I have on this table? On this table, there are 7 of the 8 Mchezo puzzles that I have in my collection. Now, if you go to Mchezo.com, and I'm going to put it in the description below, it's Mchezo. I was with a group of people who loved this brand, and we decided to do, which one? We decided to do this puzzle as a group, okay? This is called Iron Horse number 9. And when I started this puzzle, which is not in the box, which means that I glued it, I realized that I loved the thickness and sturdiness of this brand. These puzzles will pass the pickup challenge, even if you swung it like a baseball bat, I would imagine. Now, I have a thing about not wasting money. So I decided a few months after that, on my own, to do another Mchezo puzzle. And this one is Country Store at Night. Now, I will show you these puzzles that I completed at the end of this clip that I'm recording right now. I thought this was going to be a really hard puzzle. So I remember when I started this puzzle, and I think the video's on this channel, I worked on it on the replacement tray for a dog tray, and I worked on it in my bed thinking that it was just going to take me forever because of the way the sky looks and the lonely gas station and the sidewalk. It was not a hard puzzle at all. 2 days, I was done. I think I showed you puzzles out of order because I remember doing The Happiest Kid in the World after I did Iron Horse at Night. And as busy as this puzzle is, and trying to avoid the glare, it was not a hard puzzle. It was a good experience. I really enjoyed it. I really did. Okay, so then an event came up called When I Was a Kid Puzzle Along on Instagram. It started on the 16th and it goes into the 23rd. Today is the 19th. So I had 3 puzzles out of this Mchezo collection that I could work on. I didn't want to do this one again considering I had these 2 in my collection, Pinball Invasion and Donna Video Games. But I had another one in my collection. I had Staying Up All Night. Now there's a horrible glare and I'm trying to avoid it, but if I stand it up then you can't see it at all. But in any event, my choice, and you'll see that in the next clip, is I was going to work on one of these 3 puzzles or even all 3 of these puzzles for that event. Well, let's just talk about this one. As you can probably see, these 2 are still shrink wrapped. You see that glare? That's because there's shrink wrap on these. Okay? But before we go on, here's another one I have. Sidewalk Treasures. This I don't consider that it will be a challenge, but it's a Mchezo puzzle, and I wanted to show it to you. And I think I'm going to enjoy working on it. I also wanted to show you this box for this puzzle, Gradient Moon. Another easy puzzle, but it's Mchezo. So, you have the Mchezo brand, right? Then you also have Depot Street, a sub-brand. And then you have Game Assist puzzles. So I will be going to the Mchezo site and sharing with you what I can find on it. But these are my collection of Mchezo puzzles. It's late at night and I don't want to wait until tomorrow, so you're seeing a glare, but hopefully I showed you the puzzles close up. If I didn't, let me show you the ones that I did quickly in a slideshow. So this is Happiest Kid in the World. I remember choosing it because it was the busiest of the bunch that I have so far. I really did enjoy putting it together. Here is the Iron Horse number 9, which, as I mentioned, I did with a group of people. I think about 5 or 6 of us did this puzzle. Then I had to do Gradient Moon because it's a part of the solar system, but more importantly because it's a gradient puzzle. And last but not least, this is Country Store at Night. And that's it. Almost a year went by before I picked up another Mchezo puzzle until this week. So on this channel, you'll see that I made a video for upcoming puzzle alongs, and one of them was the When I Was a Kid puzzle along. So I pulled out a bunch of videos, maybe 25 or 30 videos for all the puzzle alongs that go on until the end of the year. And these are the 3 that I pulled from my stash that would fit that category easily. Whenever I'm working on a puzzle, I'm always thinking about my next puzzle, and sometimes even the puzzle after that. So because I had these 3 in my mind, I said, which one of these will I do? Well, one looked more challenging than the other 2, so I decided to go with the one that was more challenging, staying up all night. Now, I knew this puzzle would be challenging, but I did not realize how much. And to be quite honest, the box is a lot lighter than the puzzle itself. The puzzle is dark, dark, dark. So back to my opening clip, day 1. And as you can see, in my typical manner in which I work on puzzles with this puzzle table, is I take out all the trays and I start putting the puzzle pieces on the trays themselves. And then I start pulling the pieces to see if I can go ahead and assemble the border. So at this point, I have set the trays to the side, and now you see me working on the border, but then soon you'll see me pull the trays back in because, wait a minute, I can't quite pull this border together. This was my first clue that this puzzle was going to take more than a minute. So here we start day 2. Now I go back, and instead of working on the border, I start working on the brighter colors. There's some yellow there. There's a lot of green for what turns out to be the television. And then I said, let me try the border again. And this time I made more success of it than the first time. So, am I going to get this puzzle done on a full day of puzzling ahead? Unfortunately, no. So let me slow down this time-lapse video so I can talk to you about the Mchezo brand and why I know I'll never be a speed puzzler. But before I give you a perspective as to why I'll never speed puzzle, I do want to tell you that this puzzle video takes place at a lot of different angles. That is because I'm working with a card table and a rotating puzzle tray. So my space is just a little over 3 feet wide. And I have the boom arm connected to this puzzle, the card table. And so I'm constantly moving the rotating table to my convenience. So therefore, you're not going to get a direct drop down shot unless I attach the boom arm to the rotating table itself. But I don't want to do that because then I would have to disassemble or I would have to detach the boom arm every time I wanted to rotate the table. And I didn't want to have to do that. So in any event, as I said, I started to realize that the puzzle seemed a lot darker than the box itself. But never fear, I'm a stubborn person, a little bit too stubborn, But that stubbornness pays off when you face a challenging puzzle. And I could say because I was participating in the when I was a kid puzzle along that that's what drove me to finish this puzzle, but that wouldn't really be true. Because basically if I start a puzzle, I'm going to finish it. And if it takes a day, if it takes a week, I'm going to finish it. But no, we're moving into day 3. And soon you'll see that I hadn't made a bunch more progress than I did the previous day. But again, this is the 3rd day. Now, I'm going to count the first night as day 1 because I did start it in that calendar day previously, but I kept on working on it. So, I'm getting as many of the bright or defined areas of the puzzle done that I'm able to. Not easy, but that's what I'm doing. And I keep looking at the poster. I keep looking at the box. At some point, I got out my puzzle scoop magnifying glass with a light. At another point, I got my husband's magnifying glass because I was trying to see what was happening in this puzzle. Now, for example, at the bottom of the puzzle, which I know right now you're seeing the top, but at the bottom of the puzzle, you have the 2 hands holding the controller. If you look at the puzzle box itself, you can kind of pretty much see those hands. But when you look at the puzzle pieces, unless you're looking super, super close, you won't notice that the hands have paws. And then there at the bottom on the right hand, which there's a horrible glare right now, but there was a Band-Aid. It took me almost 2 days to realize that what was on that right hand is a Band-Aid. Because you had no idea. You just had no idea. So as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, how long will it take? And what puzzle do I want to do next? Will I go on to another Mchezo puzzle? And to be quite honest with you, I didn't know. I don't know. So while I'm watching this, don't worry. I've got stuff to keep me busy. What is that? Well, I'm watching the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship that is held in Spain. And it started on Wednesday and it goes until Sunday. And Wednesday had a few quarterfinals. And Thursday, today, had 3 more quarterfinals and 3 pairs quarterfinals. And by the way, the first 6 quarterfinals were for individuals, with the last set of 3 individuals being today and then 3 quarterfinals for pairs back to back to back. So, while I am working on this puzzle, which, as if I haven't already said, was very dark, I watched the event and I learned some things about myself just in the process of watching that event on YouTube and working on this puzzle. Now, one thing I want to mention is at some point I decided, hey, I'm going to flip all these pieces face up and put them all on the table. This way, I'm going to get through this puzzle today. And remember, I separated this process by overlays of each day. So that means I'm still in day 3. Okay? Day 3, mind you. Okay? And as I'm working on it, I realized that you can't say pick out a piece based on what's on that piece or what's around that piece to figure out where that piece goes. This was what I think is called sheer force. Yeah. But it was mismanagement also, because not only were all these pieces face up on the table, even though I thought I was kind of close to being done, I didn't keep them separated by by shape. So by not keeping them separated by shape, I was constantly picking up pieces and sometimes even trying those pieces 2 or 3 times because of forgetting that I just had that piece a few moments ago. And then as I started to see that you couldn't tell what was a hand, what was a controller, what was a game, what was an album cover, what have you, what was a movie title. You really could not tell. But if I look at the box cover, I could tell. But if I looked at the pieces as I was working on it, I was unable to tell. So anyway, I'm watching this event and I'm loving it. I put this on my calendar as soon as it was announced, and I knew that the day this event started would be the last day that I would read a book until probably the event is over. Why is that? Well, sometimes these events run all day. Like today, they ran all day. Tomorrow, they will run all day. Saturday, they will run pretty much all day. And then it ends on Sunday. Now, they are on YouTube, so I can always do replay to watch them, but I'm watching it live as I work on the puzzle. Now, one thing I learned about myself while working on this puzzle and while listening to the fabulous dialogue between the host of the world's event, as well as her co-host and any guests that she had come sitting down and talking to us, is that style. People choose their puzzles according to style. So, like if the host asked the puzzler, were you happy with the puzzle you got? Or then she would ask them, well, if you weren't happy with that box, would you have been happier with one of the other puzzles that was chosen? And then the puzzlers would mention things that they liked in puzzles versus things that they really don't like landscapes, for example, or very detailed puzzles. Some experienced jigsaw puzzlers stay away from those types of puzzles. Well, that's not me. What I tend to do is anything and everything in between. I choose mostly landscapes, or should I say mostly collages. And honestly, I can't even guess which one I've done more, but I choose puzzles like that. But then I also choose the Waisaki puzzles, which are more hometown style, or the David McLean puzzles. I mean, just so many that fit the desire that I have at whatever time I'm working on a puzzle. Well, back to this one. You see that lower left-hand corner? Doesn't it look like it's all dark blue or black? Well, guess what it is? It's different games. But you can't see it. You have to go to the poster or the box. Back to the poster, back to the box. And by sheer force, work on getting these pieces together. But, like I said, mismanagement. I had the pieces out, but I didn't have them in any type of order. And another thing I should say I learned while watching the Worlds was not sitting too long staring at the puzzle or moving pieces around without putting the piece into place. So I decided, okay, at some point I'm going to go ahead and have to go back to the trays because I can't keep these pieces separated, but at the same time I cannot figure out where they go in the puzzle itself. Now, if you're seeing any repeat of clips, and I have to apologize because I thought I got the clips in order, but they're kind of looking a little bit out of order for me, but I'm going to go with it because we're almost 20 minutes in on this video. So, I don't know if you just saw that, but there was a magnifying glass on the puzzle. Why? Because I could not tell what the hands were, and the hands were basically pores. You had to find the pores to know that this maroon piece or this red piece went here, but if it didn't have pores in it, it went there, and so forth and so on. So I'm working on it. I'm watching Worlds. I'm enjoying myself. I'm thinking about, do I want to do the other two puzzles that I have picked out for the when I was a kid, puzzle along? And to be quite frank, I really don't know. I really don't know. And as you're going to see at some point, the puzzles will appear in two of the trays because I figured now we're going to just place this by piece shape. And when I mean place it by piece shape, I simply took the trays that you see there, the two brown trays and a black tray, had the pieces by shape, and would just go through and fill in each shape. And that's how I got through the puzzle. You know how I share with you the poem on the back of the boxes of the Ibu puzzles I do? Well, there's some information on the back of this box, and I'm going to read it. It says homework is done and it's 2 days before heading back to school. Let's game. The 90s had so many exciting memories and we tried to fit them all into this puzzle. VCRs, PS1s, Nintendo 54s, action figures, movies, TV shows, sports, all have a spot in this wondrous bedroom from the 90s. Can you find your favorite memory? Then there's a question here. Remember when the Commodore 64 was the height of technology? Can you still recall the excitement you felt when you got your first gaming console? Well, so do we. That's why we created the Game Assist brand. Inspired by the 80s and 90s sensibilities, popular cultures, and a passion for gaming lifestyle, these puzzles are meant to bring something new and exciting to the market. Let your imagination run wild. In the back of the box has a brief bio about our artist or our illustrator. It says that Rashid Lot is a senior graphic designer and concept artist who specializes in retro imagery that encourages people to relive their childhood, cherish their memories, and enjoy their current life. His highly sought work has appeared on album covers, magazine covers, and is often used for promotion and advertising. And there's a website there. So I learned something. The Game Assist brand was designed to embrace pop culture in the form of our video history. So as I go to the Mchezo.com website, the first thing I noticed was something new that I never noticed before, and it says that Mchezo is an official brand of the Curated Corner Network. So here is the first page of their puzzles. They have some different type of puzzles that you don't see elsewhere. Scream in Israel, The Liberation of Corentin, 1944. Anti-Hate Cityscape. Look at this one, Battle of Cowpens, 1,000-piece puzzle. Rainbow Waves, 100% chance of gummy bears. What's next? Let it load. Ghost Town General Store. Old soda delivery truck. Vintage steam engine. You know, a couple years ago I had put this in my shopping cart and never bought it. I think I will buy it soon. The ones that I've shown you that I've had. Here's Into the First Horse Racing 1,000-piece puzzle. And the last one I think is one that I already showed you that's in my collection. Yes, Sidewalk Treasures. And here is their Amazon store. Mchezo has not sent me any puzzles. The 8 Mchezo puzzles that I have, I purchased myself, but I just wanted to show you a full selection of what I could find on the available Mchezo puzzles. So when I was putting this puzzle together, I had no idea that I would end up doing a review of the brand itself and that the video itself would be so very long. But if you lasted this far into the video, I want to thank you for watching. And please let me know in the comments, do you have any Mchezo, Game Assist, or Depot Street puzzles? If so, what is your experience with the brand? That's it for now. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.